We won the league, we went to nationals. When it finished, we were all crying.
This is Nacho Lerech, a 25-year-old striker born from the capital of Argentina. Inspired by Messi's shadow, he quickly became the most dangerous forward in the USL, and now just signed with the 5th-tier club in Italy.
You know, Nacho's a perfect fit.
Level was, in my opinion, a little bit low.
But how did Nacho really rise to the top?
Shit, it's not a myth, it's true.
And what were the ingredients that actually led to his success?
This guy is certainly the alpha player.
It's sort of in their DNA.
And so in this interview, we will learn about the brutality of Argentina's academies, discover his path from D3 to D1 in college, and find out the most important aspects every footballer overlooks. What was life like growing up for you?
So I was born in Buenos Aires. I played there for the Boca Juniors Academy. Then because of my family, I moved to Tucuman when I was around 13, 14. One of the years I was there, I went to Rosario, where Messi is from, to play against the opponent, the team that Messi is called Rosario Central. I played there for 1 year. I was living there in the residency for players. And then I started playing for my home team. It's called Athletic Tucman. And it was a great experience. And after that, to the States, and I started my college career.
What was your family history in athletics? Do they play any other sports?
My parents never play any sports. I have 2 brothers, and they always force us to play sports and to be healthy. Pretty much we never had like video games at home, never PlayStations, none of that. I picked soccer. My younger brother, now he plays rugby. Then he did boxing a little bit too, so like we went through all the sports.
So I know you started off with Club Atletico Boca Juniors. If you want to talk about your experience with them, any good stories you want to tell?
Man, like for me, it was like amazing because, as I said, I was born in Buenos Aires, so my family is their big Boca fan. My grandfather was a big fan of Boca. The day that they called me and the day that they said that I was gonna be part of the team, that I was like 10 years old, 11, probably was one of the happiest moments of my life. My grandpa was crying, my family was super happy, and then I played there in the academy 4 years, and for me, it's one of the best academies in the world. Like they treat me like as a pro since I was like 10. Even though you're a kid, my dream was to play in the first team for Boca. At some point, like a little part of myself feels that I failed in that because it was my family dream, my grandfather's dream too.
And then after that, you moved to the Club Atletico Tucuman FC.
So my dad is from Tucuman. He moved to Buenos Aires because of my grandfather. We used to go 2-3 times per year growing up. I started playing the Atletico Academy, and yeah, the academy was really good, really organized. Of course, it's like a smaller team than Boca, but also we were playing like in the nation competition. So we had to go almost once every 2 weeks to Buenos Aires to play. It was a long trip with the bus. In Argentina, most of the teams are from Buenos Aires. I'm traveling with the bus. It's 18 hours. 18 hours to go and 18 hours to come back. That was the hardest part, but like it was also the funnest part and the best memories that I have. You know, when you're a kid, you don't really realize the time, you know.
And now, how was the Western Mass Pioneers? I know you spent some time with them too.
The Pioneers for me is like home, family, so many things. Started by the coach. As a person, it's like a dad for me. As a coach, was like probably one of the best coaches that I ever had. In addition, we went to the national semifinals. We had a great house. Yeah, I think if I could go back to one moment, and I would definitely go back to that summer. The group of people that we had. When it finished, we were all crying just because it was done, you know, like we were lucky that we went until almost the end of the competition. I loved it.
I saw you played in Spain, if I'm not mistaken, with the Ciudad de Lucena.
So after the Pioneers of the summer, I went to UVM, the University of Vermont. I played there only for 1 semester. We won the league, we went to nationals. And after that, by the end of the year, my family moved to Spain. I really wanted to get into the draft. I couldn't. I don't know if I should go back to the States or not. I was like a little bit undecided. And then this opportunity came up and I signed there in Spain. It was a good experience too.
I know you spent the first college you went to was North Carolina Wesleyan. What was like the hardest part about moving there?
First of all, like I go to America without knowing anyone. Second, I didn't even know like NAIA, junior colleges, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, nothing. And it was good. The thing is we had a big group of Argentinians there, but then by the end of the year, I knew I wanted to leave because I wanted more competition. The level was, in my opinion, a little bit low. I needed more, and that's the reason why I transferred, you know.
What was the hardest part? Was it like a lot mentally because you don't know anyone, you're trying to learn a lot of things?
As I said, like I moved from my house when I was very young, when I went to this residency. So like a part of being adapted places quick. That's one of my biggest strengths. I just like to see positive things about places instead of negative, you know.
And then after that, you went to Newman University and then Vermont. Was it a challenging transition with moving to colleges?
It was, but like my priority was the money because I couldn't afford it anymore. So I needed like a very high scholarship, especially when you come from international countries. In Argentina, we don't have dollars, for example. We have another currency and the currency is very devaluated and the inflation makes it worse as well. So this school came up and provided me like opportunity to go there. there with like a really good scholarship and everything. So I said yes. Eventually, after my sophomore year there, I did really well, so I wanted to transfer again. Then pandemic happened and I got an extra year, so that's the year that allowed me to play in a Division 1 as well.
I know you just signed with Bona Calcio in Italy. Are you in Italy right now?
I was in Bonorva Calcio last year. I signed in August. Then I went to play for Vermont Green for the summer, and then now back in Italy again in a team called Li Punti. We play Coppa Italia this weekend. Hopefully we do good. Hopefully we achieve the expectation that the team has for us, and hopefully I keep growing, as a player, as a person, and so far so good.
What was your training schedule looking like growing up, now, through college?
Growing up, I've always been like a little bit like weird in terms of training and stuff. So yeah, I like to train by myself, do finishing, do different stuff. And when I train by myself, I usually try to do situation that I picture in my mind. For me, this is the best way to feel comfortable when you go to the field. But then like eventually you start getting a little bit old, and also like the recovery is part of it. You start learning that sometimes work out way too much is not good. So you need also to find a balance between being very good like in shape, but also like having like good rest as well.
What do you think are some similarities and differences playing football in other countries? And is it like a myth that like playing football in Argentina, a lot of heavy tackles, is the rules a little bit like not as serious?
It's not a myth. It's true.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. And so the Argentinians is like a very aggressive game, and the tempo, everything's super aggressive. The smaller organizations, they started like taking more risk. The level is like super high. I mean, it's crazy. And after the World Cup, there are so many scouters, people that want to go there to Argentina to look for players. For me, Argentina, Brazil, and France are like the three main countries in terms of quality of players.
Who has been your biggest inspiration your whole life? It could be someone you know personally.
Well, my grandfather, of course, but like in terms of like mentality, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kobe Bryant. In terms of the game itself, Carlos Tevez, Ronaldo, like the fat one, like the guys that I still admire a lot.
What are some things that you love to do outside of soccer?
I'm a very boring person, Eric. I like to read a lot, listen to music, going out with friends, playing tennis, golf. I suck in both of sports, but I like to get sometimes away from soccer like a little bit and just play anything else. I like to play sports, at least do something different,
What are 3 drills that you think are really fundamental in your opinion?
I like to do one that includes all aspects of the game. It requires someone that can help you. You are like in the middle, someone passes you goal, you turn, you shoot, you have one cross from one side, you like finish with any weight, especially with your head, cross with the other side, you finish, and then you have someone in the net, and then that throws you the ball, and then you take a touch and you finish. The first movement could be like a diagonal run, pass the ball, finish, diagonal run to the other side, finish. So you finish with both legs. I like to include everything because in the game, it's impossible to put the same situation in a drill that in a game, but you try to make it as realistic as possible.
What do you think are some tips like you could give to a new striker that wants to score more goals?
I feel like there are less and less players that attack the space, the defense, make runs in the space. There are so many forwards that just want the ball in the feet, and like the forwards that really makes a difference are the ones like make diagonals, also they attack the space. And talking with the defenders as well, like for a defender, marking that kind of movements is really difficult, so attack the space. Come to combine, but then attack the space.
Now for set pieces, penalty kicks, free kicks, how do you approach them?
Free kicks, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not that good. I used to be good, then I'm not that good, so I don't really shoot it. Penalty kicks, I never miss. I like to practice, man. I like to practice the different situations. I try to look at the keeper a little bit too, but I try to pick one side and just kill it. Pick one side and smash it. Put it with good speed. That's my way of the pick it.
So was there any scary moments or fears or intimidation that you had to deal with? Anything you were really nervous about?
Well, the only time that I was shit, my first game in Spain, I just signed with a team, I didn't even know the name of the guys, nothing, so I came to the team, trained a couple of days, and then one of the guys got COVID, so I had to play. It was the first time in a big stadium with a lot of people, this is what I dreamt since I was a kid, And then after that, I remember calling my mom and said you don't know what happened. And yeah, those are the moments that you don't forget.
What does the future look like for you? Do you want to be a coach at some point in the future?
I definitely want to be inside the game. Whether be a coach, I like coaching. After living in many different countries, understanding different cultures, as a coach, that's a very important aspect. And I like the scouting part as well. Looking at players, then, I don't know, maybe I become something else, but I would be something relating the game for sure.
What is your best piece of advice if you were 11 or 12 or 13 years old?
When I was young, I was super crazy, man. If I could go back in the time, I would be a little bit less crazy. I was just very competitive. I'm able to control my emotions a little bit better, but as long as you are compact in your emotions, well, that's the big advice that I would be to my little self.
A massive thanks to Nacho, as I wish you the best in your football career. And please drop a like on the video, because if it wasn't for him, this video wouldn't be possible. But if you want to see more, check this interview out.